Alright, so we've hit first target here on the long and the NASDAQ on the right over here. Oops. Entry there, first target there. And then we weren't, the distance wasn't far enough away to do an add on that break. So now we're up at the POC now. Now we're going to find out what happens here. Whether we reject off of it and roll back over, or chop sideways now, or just break through it. Target's up at just above the value area high. On the left side here on the upper right is also NQ, running a different model now that's taking a sort of a new vector into dealing with these higher average daily range days, higher volatility. The lower left is ES, but no signal here since we spent all of our time right at the POC. Alright, so plus 5 and plus 9.5. Alright, so long off of a very similar looking signal, I think. Where you set this low and then retest it and got long here. And now kind of something similar where we set the low here and then retested, get a signal long. We're hit 10 ticks, so it's entry minus 5 now. News is in 1 minute though. That ought to get interesting. Right now. Alright, there's first target. Now we're going to trail by 20. Are we far enough away to get an add on that break? 2. Here to there. Yeah, so if we break through up there, we would add, but I think it's gotten really frisky here. POC came down to where all this trading occurred. Make this bigger. The blackout is 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after the top of the hour. So I don't actually check to see what the news is anymore. So there may not have been any, but we do see volatility right at the top of the hour. But the only thing I'll actually do something specific is FOMC day I'll stop it from trading at before 11. Since I used to only trade the morning, that's not an issue. But now that I trade all the way through to 20 minutes before the close, I have to pay attention to when that FOMC announcement is. I don't want to trade through that. Or rather, if I want to, I need to make some adjustment to the timing system. My inclination is to just don't try to trade it. Things just get a little too crazy. Okay, so there we do an auto add on that break. And this is what the trade service log looks like. It talks about the fact that you're scaling in and what it does. So if you see that message, that's what's going on there. The system is automatically adjusting your stops and targets for you. And then in the message log, okay. Well, that looks like we're just gonna. This doesn't quite look correct to me, because I expect that stop to be at entry plus 1, or the new break even plus 1, and it's a few ticks below it. That's not quite what I'm expecting to see. Might work out okay for me in this case, but the idea is that when you do an add, you never take a loss. You're using the profit from the contract you have to fund that add. And I'm expecting to see this stop order sitting at 61.50, but for some reason it's not. That's interesting. Where is it? I don't want to debug this right now. Okay, so let's put this back here. Now it'll just start trailing by 20, so it's going to catch up to what it should have been, I think. So and the target is where? Target is below. It's above the value area. It's below the yesterday's high, and it's below the overnight high, but it's above the session high. So we'd have to crack the session high. And there's actually a fair amount to get through there. So the value area high, the session high, and then there's a low volume node there. You would either expect to blow through that or bounce off of it. All right, so next decision point, right? We're at the value area high. Session high is just right above us. Well, this has been the big question: is how do you trail, right? When we see these nice moves, we want to be trailing by more than 20 ticks, but those nice moves are few and far enough between that if you trail by more, then you end up actually making less overall, even though you'll get taken out earlier than you'd like on some of these nicer moves. That's what the data shows. The human element is you can't trust. Look at this here. Here, I'm happy with this exit. But if instead the market, cranked from there after that little pullback, I'd have been really annoyed, right? But I'll remember the annoyance. I'll forget the fact. I'll forget this time here where I ended up, that's a nice exit. So it could be the same thing here. I got a nice entry, took first target. I did an add, was carrying 2 contracts, and we pulled back. And so now, if it advances strongly, I'm going to be really super annoyed because that's the kind of trade I'm looking for. Get in, get a couple of contracts, and let it go. But if it rolls over here or starts to chop sideways because you're at the POC, then I'll just forget that that's really a good exit actually. So you just got to deal with the human element. And that's why we use we use data to make the decision as opposed to or the flawed human memory. So we're in the middle of the day here. It's 11 o'clock. There's about an hour and a half left in the session. I don't normally look at the system, but I glanced at it and saw some things that I thought would be useful to talk about. In the live trading, we saw this long here. The system takes a short there, gets to entry -5, and then takes a small loss. You can see here, this is the right place to be looking for an entry. That 251 means that the order flow looks short to the machine. We don't take a short because the market pops higher there, so sort of the noise filter protects us there. Here we try to get long. Again, you're pulling back into this area. This is the right place to be looking. And then right here, we just nail that break right there. Here's the problem, though. All right, so we make 9.5 points there on that trade, but you can see there's a lot left on the table because that trail is 20 ticks. And now in this case, a 30-tick trail would have survived that. Earlier, we'd be given back more. And so it's something to think about, right? We're getting in at the right place. Trade management is key here. There is another signal long here, which is perfect. We don't get filled because I placed the order 1 tick back. So a market order is going to catch that in this case. A lot left on the table there, but I really, you got to like the signals here. And now this is where we stand. We're building volume up here. We're coming down to a low volume node. The system's going to start looking for something to do. Either what I would expect as a human is, the pullback to continue higher, or go back down and test this value area edge. Currently at 30.605. The ES down a point and a quarter, right? 0.75. I haven't had a chance to look at that. This other experimental NQ model is not doing as well. 7.25 points. I'll have to look at that later. Here we are short at 1140, hitting first target now. It's pretty interesting because the when I last had the screen up, we were talking about we were up here talking about a test of this level here, and we came down there and the market just fell apart. You can see all these gaps between these bars, it got really wild and crazy. It fell, the test of that level failed, right? It fell through. And then it kept falling actually all the way down to the value area low, right down here. And now we've climbed back up to not quite the value area high. There's a low volume node there, which is why we're able to take that trade. And we got our first target here, and then it's yet to be seen if we're going to roll back over or not. And certainly does look like we're rolling over a bit here. We're trailing by 20 now, up 30 ticks. So we need a pullback at this point to do any kind of add. Where's the target? Target is down just beyond the value area low. So that's a reasonable place to get to test. One of the things I'd be concerned about is if we break through down here, I suspect the system will add, and it's something to think about, because the auto add system is really designed to kind of get in 30 ticks or so after you've gotten filled. And I've seen a couple cases now where you get this nice run. And I don't have a restriction on being too far away from the entry to do an add. And there was one instance where I saw, that's kind of a silly thing to do. So we'll see here. I don't know if we can get down there or not, but it's something to think about. Maybe adding we have this minimum here. Where is it? Minimum add distance, so it has to be 30 ticks away before it'll do an add. But I don't have a maximum that says, if you're further than, if you're this far away, then don't do an add either. Something to think about. Be easy to add. Almost got stopped there in that little pullback. I'll pause the recording until something interesting happens. Things are slowing down. Alright, so just pulled back and got filled there on the trail. So +5 and +9.5, 895 on the day so far. Let's see what happens here. We've got another little bit less than an hour now. Alright, so we end up +775. Let's take a look at what happened here towards the end. So we have another case where the volatility of the market is, giving us some issues here. There's a beautiful, just a gorgeous short right here. All right, but this pullback is so deep that you get taken out before the fall continues. All right, look at that beautiful fall. So you have to love the signal. The trade management is difficult for the small account trader. All right. And there's a little bit of a domino effect here, because you end up taking a long here, so you end up taking a loss as the system bounces, reaches the value area low, and then the order flow looks like it's going to bounce higher. And I think that's it. Yeah, we get into some, this is all choppy, stay away. And then that's it. Yeah, we're going to stop here at 1240-ish right here. So you're at a place where something could happen, the value already low, but no decent signals there, so no trades. And that's it. Okay, so a pretty good, God, it's just an amazing amount of activity for August. It's just been incredible, but a nice day here at plus 775.